Before we start the topic of this video, I feel like I would be remiss not to mention the success of my previous video. Now, when I say success, I mean it in like the loosest of terms. Every time I say success, I mean success in terms of my channel and my subscriber base. I understand completely that like 1.2k views in a week is nothing. It's nothing in like the grand scheme of this massive gargantuan platform that is YouTube. But for me, it's a success. So I would like to thank everybody who liked, commented, viewed, subscribed, and particularly to those who subscribed, welcome. I want to warn you guys that there's no theme to this channel. I pretty much just talk about a load of random stuff. I used to say at the start of my videos where I talk crap about whatever the crap I want to, which pretty much still holds up. I just keep forgetting to actually say it. Mainly fandom stuff, mainly fandom and the media and things like that is how I would pretty much describe this channel. So if that's what you're into, stick around. Continue to share your opinions in the comments below. I love to hear them, even when you're disagreeing with me. As long as you're nice about it, you can disagree with me all you like. And even if you don't be nice about it, feel free. Because opinions are opinions, and even if you want to be mean about your opinion, I can't stop you. So just keep on going, keep sharing, liking, commenting, and I love to hear what everybody has to say. And thank you all for the success of my previous video. It seems that quite a lot of us actually did believe that Katniss was autistic this entire time, which is really encouraging to hear. So with that being said, let's get into the topic of this video. If you've been subscribed to this channel for a while, you will have noticed that I talk about the death of creativity quite a bit. And I'm no expert on creativity. I can only talk about creativity in my viewpoint and the way I see it. I am a writer. I draw. I don't necessarily draw good, but I draw quite a lot. I am a very creative person. I always have been ever since I was a child. And I always loved the topic of media. I enjoyed studying media in college, and I find that the way that creativity is kind of going in terms of Hollywood, TV, movies, as of the past few years, is very disheartening. Even in theatre. I did a video a couple of years ago about Cinderella. Was it last year? I don't know. About Cinderella, because there was 2 Cinderellas coming out at the exact same time, and one of them was a theatre show. So even in theatre, creativity is dying. It seems that these aren't my very popular topics though, because the first video I ever called where I talked about the death of creativity, I would say would have been my first video on A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I called that How to Kill a Franchise, and that stands to this day as my most disliked video, and the video where people were unnecessarily mean just because I didn't see the point in a prequel book. But I continue to talk about it anyway because I feel like it's an important topic to be discussing. Creativity is dying in droves. There's a mass graveyard of creativity at the moment, and it's only getting more evident. I feel like I could go on and on about Disney and talk about how they've been remaking their cartoons into live actions for the past, has it been 10 years now, half a decade? And they show no sign of stopping. Moana is in the works. The cast of Lilo and Stitch got announced recently. And I would say it's going to keep going on and going on until they have nothing left to remake. And they will never not have anything left to remake because they're still releasing cartoon movies at the same time as these live action remakes. So they're never going to run out of material. And really, principally, they add pretty much nothing to these new live action remakes. So they're pretty much just taking the work that they've already done and turning it into live action. Yes, there's a couple of girl boss elements in Beauty and the Beast, and I hear that they've done it in The Little Mermaid as well, even though it hasn't come out. Halle Bailey, I think, said that they changed a few lines and songs, and there's going to be a few more things that means Ariel won't have chosen to have legs for a man, even though she never did in the first place. I find it hard to believe that these people even watched the cartoon if that's the way that they think that Ariel decided to gain legs, but okay. And I'll say I was wrong. I used to share that picture of Ariel with her stitched up legs saying like, if you change then you'll soon regret it. I was one of those people. I'm not anymore, But that's a topic for a different video. What I'm saying is that they're not adding anything new to these live action remakes. The only one that I've really watched besides The Jungle Book, because I watched The Jungle Book, so I was like, how the hell are they going to do this? They're pretty much all animals, was Aladdin. And Aladdin, I think, was doomed from the start because you can't have the genie without Robin Williams, and I think they should have known that. But Disney don't care. Disney see money. Disney see money opportunity. Disney do. And Disney did, and Disney continues to do. So I could go on and on about those live action remakes, but I feel like that topic is pretty much done. We all know that all Disney wants is money. We already know that this is what they're doing. They're a big conglomerate. They pretty much own half of the film industry at this point anyway. And it's a topic that's already been done to death. So I thought that I would talk about some new death of creativity warning signs that are flashing so brightly but nobody is seeing. Over the past month, 2 new TV series adaptations of already established movie franchises has been announced. There is going to be a new Harry Potter TV series pretty much redoing the entire film franchise, and there is also going to be a Twilight TV series, I think also redoing the movies. And my main point is always why. Why do we need this when not only the films in this case, but the books already exist? We don't need another rehashing, and people say, oh, it's for the new generation. It's so that the new generation can also enjoy Harry Potter and Twilight and whatever else they're going to plan to remake. But Harry Potter is based in the 1990s anyway, so it's not like they're going to be modernizing it for new audiences or changing anything in that regard for new audiences. So why can they not just watch the films that already exist? Now, there's a whole debate going on that they're doing the TV series because Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson are trying to distance themselves from J.K. Rowling, which I 100% do not blame them for. But that is unconfirmed, and I am not making any claims in that regard, and if we go into that rabbit hole, this video is never going to end. Let's just all agree to disagree that J.K. Rowling needs her Twitter account taken off her. In terms of Twilight, I've seen people complaining, saying like, oh, the movies were bad enough, now we have to suffer through a TV show. And what I say to those people, can you stop living in like 2009? We get it. You didn't like Twilight. You don't enjoy Twilight. I wouldn't say that I'm a massive fan of Twilight. I couldn't get through the first book. The movies are alright to sit and laugh at, I suppose. If you want to have a good night and with your friends and just laugh at how ridiculous some of it is, then it's a fun night to watch some Twilight movies. But the people who make I hated Twilight their entire personality, I can't believe that they're still knocking around in 2023. And again, I used to be one of these people. I was a Hunger Games girly, and the Hunger Games girlies had a big problem with saying, like, I like the Hunger Games. I'm not like those girls who like Twilight. But we all had a not like other girls phase, and I grew out of it about 9 years ago now. So everyone else doesn't have an excuse. Whether you like it or not, Twilight was popular enough. It was a worldwide phenomenon. It made loads of money. So whether we like it or not, if they were going to start remaking these things into TV shows, Twilight makes sense, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it makes sense for Harry Potter as well. But there's the same dilemma as when they released what the plot of A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is going to be. When people were told there was going to be more in the Hunger Games universe, people were expecting a story about Finnick, or a story about the Dark Days, or a story about Joanna's games, or something that everyone had been clamouring to hear about, and instead it was about President Snow. The same thing is happening with this Harry Potter reboot. People don't want a Harry Potter reboot. People want a story about the founders of Hogwarts. They want a story about the Marauders. They don't want what they already love to be remade. Yeah, the Harry Potter movies aren't perfect. Trust me. It took me a long time to read the books. I didn't read them until 2017. I'd already seen the majority of the movies by that point. And in comparison to each other, it's like night and day. But that's always going to be the case with books. And I feel like people need to be a lot more forgiving when it comes to adaptations, because people expect too much. So for what it is, the Harry Potter movies are great. They don't need remade. And the only way that I can see this being why it's happening is because J.K. Rowling can't write outside the Harry Potter universe. She wrote as Robert Galbraith, sure, but then it got leaked that it was her, and that's when the book started selling, which I find hilarious. So she keeps coming back to Harry Potter, and I have talked before about how I don't like authors squeezing the death out of their universes. Yes, they have every right to do it. I cannot sit here and tell an author what they can and can't do. We've gone over this before. I'm just a random girl with coloured hair in my bedroom talking shit into the abyss. I can't tell authors what they can and can't do with their universes, obviously. But I can say what frustrates me, and I find it frustrating when authors squeeze the death out of their franchises and squeeze the death out of the success that they got from telling this one story in this one universe because they know it's gonna sell. This Harry Potter TV series, it's gonna make money. It's guaranteed to make money. This Twilight TV series, it's gonna make money. It's guaranteed to make money. And yes, get your bag. I've said that before. If you want to just get your bag and not care about the integrity of your universe, go for it, queen. Do what you want to do. Both Stephanie Meyer and J.K. Rowling. I mean, J.K. Rowling never shuts up about how much money she makes and how successful she is. So, you know what? If that's what she wants to do, go for it. Who am I to tell you to stop? But you're doing it at the detriment of your franchise, because it's going to get to the point where it's overdone. It's going to get to the point where there's nothing new there. And it's going to get to the point where people are fed up, especially in Harry Potter's case, because people are already getting tired of Harry Potter because of the Fantastic Beasts series and J.K. Rowling's Twitter account. To me, it strikes me as an excuse not to write anything new. It strikes me as an excuse to go back to something that these authors know is going to sell. That's what disappointed me when A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was announced, because Suzanne Collins said she was going to write something new. She said that she was leaving the Hunger Games behind when the final movie came out, and she said she was going to start afresh with something new and something different. And she didn't. She did what Cassandra Clare did and released another book. Hopefully Suzanne Collins won't release like 10 books or more like Cassandra Clare does, which is so unfair because Cassandra Clare's book covers are so pretty. Like, they're gorgeous. And I hate that so much for her. I mean, actually, I love it for her. You know what? Let's not be negative here. I love it for her. Her books are gorgeous. But that story, the Shadowhunter story, it's you know the way I said squeezing? That rag is dry. There's nothing else coming out of there. It's all just so overdone. But I did see that it's been announced that she's releasing something else, which, you know what? I'm proud of you, Cassandra. You finally broke free and you're releasing something else, and I gotta give her her dues for that. I can't tell you off the top of my head what it's called, but I will admit when someone does something that is against what I say, they always do. So good job, Cassandra. You finally did it. But the thing is that a TV series is a guaranteed success as well, because there's more time to tell a story in a TV series. There's also past proven successes, such as Shadowhunters, based on Cassandra Clare's TV series. In fact, I'm surprised it hasn't taken them this long to do a TV series on something else because of the success of Shadowhunters. It feels like it was kind of obvious that more was going to come because of that, but I suppose the spontaneous cancellation of the show also, which was a kind of omen for how Netflix was going to continue to behave, can maybe put people off it. But successes of TV shows like Shadowhunters and even The Last of Us now just goes to show that this is probably the next live action remake movie a la Disney, except for young adult novel movies that were successful. The Hunger Games will be next. There was rumours about a Divergent TV series to finish off the movie franchise because it never got finished. There was rumours of a TV series for Divergent long ago, but it's never come to fruition. But that'll probably crop up again now, because these two TV series, the adaptation of Harry Potter and the adaptation of Twilight, they're going to be successful. They're going to make money, unfortunately. And it just continues to the death of creativity, because everything nowadays is a remake or a retelling, or not even a creative retelling. Like, I can go for like a creative retelling, but half the time it's not anymore. They don't add anything new, and saying adding girl boss elements to a fairy tale is not retelling it in a creative way. Sorry to break it to you. I just want to kind of see something new. Something interesting. I started watching The Boys on Amazon Prime. I'd put it off for a very long time because the superheroes are called the Seven, and my novel is called The Seven, and I kind of got a bit like, and it came out like around the exact same time. They came out around 2019. I was a bit like, oh, So I finally watched that for the first time, and I really enjoyed it because it was something different. It was an interesting new take on superheroes that I had never seen before. I just want to see something different, people. Something that's not a retelling or a remake, or just give me something new, something fresh, something that I haven't seen before. And before anyone tells me to write it myself, because you're an author or whatever, how dare you? Writing is hard, okay? I will give it to these authors. Writing is hard. But whenever you're making money and you have an audience, and like you have to let go. When you have success, you have to learn to let go. Or so I believe. I can't oppose what I believe onto these other authors. Maybe they believe that running their franchises into the ground until there's nothing new, and milking it until there's no more milk coming out and just dust, is the way to do it. And I can't tell them that that's wrong. I can just tell them that I disagree. Anyway, I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself now anyway. I think I got my point across relatively well. I revisit this topic every so often because I keep getting new examples on why creativity is dying. Or maybe she's already dead. Maybe she's already in the ground. Only time will tell. Anyway, what do you think? Comment down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my book. It's an Amazon exclusive. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it is free. Why not check out a free book if you have it? It's right there. It's free. If you do, let me know what you thought. Don't do any of that if you don't want to. I don't want you there if you don't want to be there. And remember, there is nothing wrong with trying something new. Always returning to a guaranteed sell is boring and safe. Try something new. Explore new territory. Yeah? Yeah. Okay.